Alright, hi guys. I would like to share this one experience that I faced for quite some time, which was I couldn't sleep. Yes, a lot of us actually go through that problem, right? We cannot sleep. We hit the bed at night thinking, yes, I got to wake up at 7 in the morning. I got to get ready. Got to go to work. I've got an important meeting, and then you hit the sack and you're just turning around, and then you say it's okay. You know what? I'll hug my pillow tighter and I'll try to sleep again. I'm sure I'll fall asleep, but no, it doesn't happen, right? So what happens then? We are awake till say about 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, and only then we finally fall asleep. And the next thing you know, your alarm is ringing and you got to wake up. You got a whole day ahead of you, and you don't have enough sleep, and you struggle through the day. That is a real situation that a lot of us are going through actually. Personally, there was a situation that I was going through for the past two over years. I just got a new job, so it was a stressful job. There were a lot of projects and things like that, and I just couldn't sleep at night. My mind just didn't want to shut off. So I sympathize with those who face the situation right now. So I just want to make this video just to share with you my experience and how I have been going through it and how I've gone through it and how I've overcome it as well. All right, so I've realized that there are five main points. If you can look after these five main points, you would be able to sleep properly. So let me just start very quickly. We know sleep is important. We only always think that it's important because it helps us, it gives us energy. But then, do you also know that there's a research that has been done, and then that it shows that sleep resets the steady buildup of connectivity in the human brain, which takes place in our waking hours. To put that simply, when you sleep, your brain resets itself. That is why when you wake up with a proper sleep, you tend to be sharper, you tend to think further, and you have better memory as well. Let me just tell you this little experiment that I saw on Netflix before, and what they did was they tried it on toddlers. So these toddlers, they were below 1 years old. So what happened was they taught these toddlers how to play a certain toy, and after a bit, they allowed the toddler to go and sleep because at that age they tend to sleep a lot. So allowed toddler to go and sleep, and then when the toddler woke up, the toddler remembered how to play the toy again. And then they tried with another set of toddlers who were not allowed to sleep. They were taught how to play a toy. They were taken out to another room to just play around a little bit more. And when they brought them back and showed them the toy again, they could not remember how to play with the toy. So the logic here with these two studies is that our human brains, it works a little bit like a computer. We've got a RAM, like how our computers has got RAM. So it's a temporary space where we store information, and then when we go to sleep, the brain takes that information and starts building the connectivity. That is how we tend to remember better when we have better sleep. Same thing worked with the kids. Just that as we grow older, we have bigger RAMs, but then again, that is why we also need to sleep 8 hours because then it takes that much time to rebuild the connectivity. So the thing is that a lot of us also sometimes we think that the side effects are pretty small, such as we are grumpy and we can't remember things, and we are sleepy throughout the whole day if you don't have enough sleep the night before. But then, did you also know that what happens is you also tend to put on weight? You also tend to forget things very easily. You cannot focus. You tend to eat a lot, and then you tend to turn towards other unhealthy habits because the body just generally brings you towards that. I'll tell you my example was when I couldn't sleep day after day after day, I started taking alcohol and I started to drink almost every single day. And I did realize that my body started to deteriorate. I was not focused. I didn't have the energy throughout the day to do things. And towards the end of my working hour, all I was looking at was what time will I be going to the bar? Who will be at the bar? How much am I going to drink tonight? So that wasn't healthy. Reason being why alcohol is sugar, and sugar keeps your body awake longer. So drinking alcohol after work and hoping to go back and then have proper sleep, actually it doesn't work for many of us. So that became a routine of mine, and eventually I suffered a lot. And that is why when I finally found this method, I want to share with as many people as possible. Without further ado, let me just tell you these 5 things that I realized that helped me. All right. Number one, exercise in the evenings. Reason being why you can exercise in the morning, but sometimes people just don't have the time, right? We are all just middle class, working, employed people, and we do not have the time to wake up early in the morning and then exercise and then go to work and stuff like that. So what happens is the moment we are up, we get ready, we brush our teeth, quickly grab our breakfast, and we're off the door because we don't want to get late because there's traffic jam, right? So I started exercising in the evenings, and I found that it actually really helps. My exercises are not really intense. I just jog for about 2.4 kilometers a day. I sweat, and then when I get back home, I have my dinner, and after a couple of hours, I tend to feel sleepy. So I hit the bed, right? So exercise is important. Exercise towards the evening. Try not to exercise late at night or after 8 p.m. because then what happens is your body is pumped with all these hormones that keeps you energized. So if it's possible, you can exercise in the morning because they say it's good because it gives you the energy to last the day. But I exercise in the evenings. I find it's good. At times, I used to play football at 8 in the evening, and I'll be home by 10, and then I realize that I can't sleep as well. That is also because, like what I said, do not exercise too late at night. All right, so try to do it between 6 to 7. Simple exercises, just enough for you to sweat and get your heart pumping and get your lungs really breathing in air and things like that. It should be sufficient for a starter, right? So like I said, avoid alcohol. It's just sugar. It's just going to give you more energy and you will not be able to sleep at night. Avoid caffeine. I do understand. I do take note that some people, caffeine doesn't work on them. They can still sleep and stuff like that. But then again, these are also people who can sleep. There are a bunch of people who, moment they hit the bed, they can sleep regardless what. But then this video is for those like us who cannot sleep. So avoid caffeine. Even certain drinks like Coca-Cola and stuff like that, it's got caffeine in it. So be careful. Avoid caffeine. Try to have your last caffeine at about 4 in the evening. Um, the other tip that I have is sometimes I realize that the reason I cannot sleep is because my mind is so active, right? I'm thinking about work, I'm thinking about what I'm going to do tomorrow, and about this project, about this presentation. Suddenly a new idea pops up, and the mind doesn't stop working. I'm sure you have got through the same problem. I'm sure you are also facing the same issue. That is why you cannot sleep. So, one technique I realized is that if you keep it over here, it will always remain here. That is why a lot of successful people, what they do is they have a notepad with them by the side of the table, right? But sorry, by the side of the bed. So what happens is when something comes up to your mind, they write this down. So when you write this down, you're taking away stress from your mind and you're putting it somewhere, and then you feel safe because you know what? I'll not forget this thing. It's important, but I'll not forget this thing now because I've written this down. I can refer to this, so that keeps you calm, right? That reduces the stress hormones in your mind, in your brains. So write things down, keep a notepad, just practice this for a while. Eventually when you start having proper routines at night, it gets better because your focus and all it's better, memory is better, so then you do not really have to rely on that anymore. But for the start you can do this, write things down. Another thing that I notice is sometimes is the conditions that you're sleeping in. At times it's just too warm, or it's just too cold, or it's stuffy. Look out for ventilation is really important. Fresh air. Do you know that outside air is cleaner than closed door air because of ventilation? So look out for ventilation. Make sure the ventilation is good. Room temperature has to be good. If it's hot, then just get a stand fan. It's not expensive. It's something worth investing in yourself for you to get proper sleep so you can perform better day after day. Get additional fans. Okay? The pillow that you sleep on. So I've realized that I used to have a lot of aches over here. Firstly, it's because there's not enough sleep, so that led to stress. So I used to get a lot of aches right here in my shoulder here, and then I also realized that it was also because of the pillow that I was using. We tend to overlook that pillows also have got a shelf life. Get a proper pillow. Invest in a proper pillow. You might have to go through a couple of types of pillow until you realize that this one really fits me. So there's a local brand here in Malaysia. It's called Getah. Uh, that pillow has got one side of it is soft and one side of it is hard. I do notice that at times I tend to sleep on the hard side of the pillow, even though I prefer the soft part. But some days I do prefer the hard part, so that gives me option. I think that's really important. That's really good. And then the last thing is, if you cannot sleep, okay, you go to bed and you cannot sleep, and you have done whatever I've mentioned, don't sleep. Stay awake. You might have to suffer for a couple of days, and then eventually when the rhythm gets back to normal, you'll start sleeping early and you start having comfortable quality sleep. There's no point you turning and tossing around on your bed if you cannot sleep. It just adds stress to your body, right? You start producing cortisol. There's a lot of stress in your body, so, and then you cannot sleep even longer. So what I tend to do is, if I cannot sleep, I been tossing and turning for the past 1 hour. I know that it's worthless because my body is not ready to sleep at all. I actually come out, I actually switch on the TV and I just mindlessly just watch the TV. I just consume the content, and it just takes my mind off whatever is stressing me out, and it just puts my body in a relaxed mode, and eventually when I start feeling sleepy, I just go to bed. A warm glass of milk helps, soothes the body, gets you into the comfort zone. So yeah, if you cannot sleep, don't sleep. But the next day you still got to wake up on time and go to work. So eventually after a day or two, your body gets really tired and then you will sleep. Eventually you will sleep. Get off any stress that's in your mind that's stressing you out. Get it down on paper, and if it doesn't work still, you still cannot sleep, don't sleep. Okay? So with that, please try this. If it works for you, please comment so other people will benefit as well. Out of the 5 tips that I've given you, right? So the 5 tips to sleep, out of the 5 tips, which one really works for you? Comment that in the comment section. Let other people learn. Let other people who are suffering like us learn something out of this video and bring benefit to them. Healthy sleep, longevity is exactly what every human being needs. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you for your support. Love you so much. Take care.